Hey there, it's Trisha with Easy Emini Trade, and I want to go over Friday the 15th. And if you'd like more information on the setups, you can go to www.easyemintrade.com. And also a reminder that the webinar is this week on Thursday, the 21st at 8 p.m. There are still a few spots available, so if that's something that you're interested in, you can get the info on the website on that as well. We will be going over how the setups work on the S&P, E-mini, the NQ, and also the Euro future, so you might find that helpful. So Friday the 15th, we are willing to take something when the market first opens, within that first 3 minutes or thereabouts, ignoring all support and resistance. You'll notice here that you did get closed outside the channel, but there was never an entry. If you had your entry a quarter above either of these bars, it never triggered, so it wouldn't have been something that you would have been in. Here's the first entry here, and this was at 9:46, and you could enter in under the low of this bar here, and you would not have been filled on the very next bar, so then you would have canceled when you closed inside the channel, and then this bar here under the low here, your entry would be 11:39 with 11:38 below you. Or you could have just left your order in place here and just, see if it got filled. You would have to know that the low from the previous day is right below you. That's what that orange line is, and that would likely be your initial target. If you missed that entry, then you could have entered here under this bar once you broke the low from the previous day. So you had another opportunity here. Indicators in line on either of these entries, here or here, and you enter in under the low of this bar, and your target is likely going to be 11:35. We do have an area here that we had been watching, 37.50. So if you wanted to wait to get below that bar and enter, then you could have done that. You put your order in under the low of this bar, quarter under this bar, and it never would have filled, and then it pulls back to the channel, and then this bar here, you still are closed outside the channel. So you could put your order in under here, because you are under that support area here at 37.50, or you could look to enter in under this bar. Either one would have worked, with 35 as your target and then the 33 area, and it actually got down to the 33 area here, actually got a little lower. This here, you get closed outside the channel, but it never triggers, meaning if you put your order in a quarter under that bar, it never fills on the very next bar. Then you'll notice that you do have divergence to the upside after that. So nothing that you'd want to do there, because now you're closed inside the channel. Here, this is about, what time is this? This is at 10:39. You get closed outside the channel, but you do have a support area below you at 11:31, and if you look here at your longer tick chart, you can see that that's this line here, and you can see that you've got some issues here and here and here right in that area. So totally up to you if you wanted to give that a shot, but you do have some congestion in that area. Realistically, you probably wouldn't have wanted to do anything until you got below this area here at 28.50, 27.50, that general vicinity. Then nothing really else sets up the rest of the day on Friday on the ES, and forgot to mention that's what we're looking at here, the ES. If you want to take something here when you get closed outside the channel at 3 o'clock, you are in a downtrend, so you would be going against the trend. Totally up to you if that would be something that you'd want to do, but it wouldn't be something that I would be interested in doing, but that's just me. So again, you have to weigh the risk for yourself on what you'd be willing to do. NQ, you get a setup occurring right here under this bar. You get closed outside the channel under 50% retracement under the pivot point, so you look to enter here. You have plenty of room below you to the close of the previous day, so that worked out nicely. If you didn't take that first trade, then the next trade you could have taken here under this bar once you got closed under the low from the previous day. If you didn't take that trade, then likely you would have passed. And I say that because you could have, if you wanted to, when you pull back to the channel here and you close below it, you could take that, but then you've got the low right above you again. If you look to take this under the low here, then it never triggers on the very next bar anyway, and then you wind up closing back inside the channel unless you get place an order under this bar. Your target would likely be right here in this 1870 area, just based on previous price action. And you actually did get a little through that. Again, totally up to you. You have to weigh your risk, what you're willing to do, but either way, that would have likely been your target. You did have a couple more opportunities on this than you did on the ES. You never had this opportunity at 1152 on the ES that you had on the NQ. And this setup here, you get closed outside the channel under the area here of previous price action and the support area that we had picked out, and that was picked out on previous days. And so you get closed under that, you put your order in here under this bar, you get filled, and likely you would have gotten your first target of +2, and then if you moved your stop to your entry, then you would be stopped out. Then you have another opportunity here, and this was at, let's see what time that was. That was at 12:20, so you put your order in under the low of this bar here, quarter under it. You actually get filled on the very next bar, and then you just sit sideways for a little while until it actually continues lower. If you missed either of those, then you had another opportunity here. You get closed outside the channel, put your order in a quarter under that bar, and it trades down to the next area of support that we'd picked out at 1854.25. And so that worked out nicely as well. And again, on the NQ, you would not have been interested in something to the upside here, or at least I wouldn't. Let's just put it that way. You know, because we're in a downtrend. So totally up to you. If that's something that fits your plan, you can absolutely do it. And on the euro, you do get an opportunity here at 10 o'clock, and you get a close outside the channel. It fills on the next bar. Your target's going to be the midpoint on the floor trader pivot below you, and you actually trade to that, and so that would be your target, and so that works out just fine. Then the next opportunity is not until here, and this is at 221, 223, and you get closed outside the channel under this midpoint here on the floor trader pivots. Everything's in line to take it. You take it, you sit sideways for a little while before it finally does. You had to sweat that out a little bit, and then it does trade down to the next target, which would be the floor trader pivot below you. You do have another opportunity here if you wanted to take it. If you didn't take this one, when you get closed back outside the channel, you're under that floor trader midpoint. You place your order, and depending on if you could get filled on the next bar or not, if you didn't, then you basically missed it. If you weren't already in here and you couldn't get filled on the next bar here, then next opportunity would be here, and this is at 254. And the problem with that is that your target is right below you, so really not a lot of room to take that. So if you didn't get in here or here, then you would have passed on this one here. And once again, if it fits your plan to trade against the trend, I mean, basically it was kind of sloppy on the euro. There wasn't really any overall trend per se, but this is pretty late in the day too. So, you know, again, totally up to you what you're willing to do. If you took that, then your target would be the area above you. So pretty simple, and you can see by looking here on the 15-minute chart, you know, that you did come right up to that area on a couple of occasions. So would make perfect sense if somebody wanted to try that to the upside. So I hope that helps, and if you have any questions, shoot me an email, and you can get more information from the site.